This video is dedicated to James Humphreys. James, thank you. Kinnan Bonder Prodigy versus Oona Queen of the Fae. And I really shouldn't keep that one, but we do have a turn 2 mana rock, or mana dork I should say. Thanks for the Soul Ring, so yeah, I am going to keep that one. Get ourselves into a tropical island, and then we can play ourselves a Soul Ring. Like I said, that can allow us to get down the mana dork next turn. And if we drop a land next turn, we can actually look at making a profit of Crucifix as well. Alright, a mana crypt from our opponent, so they'll be able to keep up with us. Alright, we get into a Hinterland Harbour, so I'm actually going to go for Kinnan instead here because they might have counter magic. And thanks to Soul Ring, we can easily get our Kinnan out again. So let's try and bait a counter spell here. Yeah, they immediately go in for something. A Remove Soul, which is counter a target creature, so they certainly did have counter magic. It's not to say they don't have any more for us, but it doesn't seem likely if they're going for a mana rock. Might be missing a land. Nope, they do go for a land there. And they'll be able to generate some black mana with the Coalition Relic next turn. And we get into the second land in a row, so that's lucky. We kept a 1-lander. And we get to make 2 lands in a row, which is exactly what we needed with this hand. So let's go in for the Prophet of Crucifix, and then we can get down the mana dork during our opponent's turn. And yeah, the fact that they used the counter spell on our commander just means that we've got free reign to get down Prophet of Crucifix, which is arguably a much more frightening commander, or frightening creature I should say. Interestingly, they make blue mana out of the Coalition Relic and then go in for Crystal Shard, so as long as we just hold up 1 mana for the Crystal Shard, we're not really too worried about that. That's really the type of card that you'd expect to bounce your own commander or your own creature with, so that you can abuse ETBs. We'll go in for the Sylvan Caryatid at the end of our opponent's turn. And yet another land, which I actually don't mind. So, Biomancer's Familiar makes our commander cost less, so we'll get that down now. See if they want to counter that one. Okay, they are holding priority, so it might be that they want to counter. We'll go in for the Basalt Monolith, and then we can go in for our commander during our opponent's turn. Basalt Monolith does generate infinite colourless mana with our commander, and we do have quite a few coloured sources now as well, so we should be able to look at a lot of cards on the top with Kinnan. I'm actually going to go for Kinnan now during the upkeep, because they've got a chance to draw into a counter spell during the draw step. So we'll just make them answer it now, but they don't have a counter spell that they want to use. And then our opponent's passing through to the end of the turn, so we will generate our colourless, our infinite colourless mana. We tap down the Basalt Monolith for 4, and then untap it for 3. And that will allow us to go in for a Kinnan activation. Nothing off the top, unfortunately, so we'll just have to try our luck again next turn. I'm actually going to start things off by generating the colourless mana that we need. And then we can go for a couple of activations here, I think. Might end up casting the Findhorn Elves, so that we've got more mana available to us. Activate the Kinnan, and that's a good selection, but we've already got a Seedborn Muse in the form of Prophet of Crucifix, so we'll go for the Beast Whisperer, and then immediately cast the Elf so that we can draw a card. And we get into another mana dork, so I dare say we're going to cast that one as well. Okay, and our opponent's holding up priority for a long time for some reason. Maybe they've got an answer for us. Anyway, we'll see if they've actually got an answer. Yep, they're tapping down their mana for something. Ah, Notion Thief. Alright, so they're actually going to draw a card instead of us at the moment. Thanks to the Beast Whisperer. So I think we get down the Song of the Dryad straight away onto the Notion Thief. And then we will go through to attacks. And we'll just swing in with these two. Yeah, I don't know if there's like a flash Death Touch Fairy or something, but yeah, I don't think there is. But just in case, I wanted to hold back the Kinnan anyway. More mana from the Oona player now in a Talisman of Dominance. So that's the black mana that they were missing. And they get into Crux of Fate, which is going to wipe out all of our creatures. They obviously say non-dragon creatures with that. Just for the sake of it, I'm going to try and get something going with Kinnan. I don't think there's any answers that we're going to have to this. We don't have any counters in the form of a creature or anything like that in the deck. But maybe we'll get a good ETB or something like that. Oh, and that's a shame to get into 3 such good cards off the top when we can't actually make use of them. I think we just have to go for Rex Sage there, and we'll try and take them off a little bit of mana. Go after the Coalition Relic because that has a chance of generating 2 coloured mana. Their Oona does have hybrid mana, so they'll be able to get that out easily enough. Try our luck again with a good ETB for Kinnan. We just whiff on that one, unfortunately. So we've got one more activation. We'll try our luck once more. Oh, alright, apparently it's time to whip out Salty the Salt Shaker again. Yeah, our opponent has been, I don't know if I've pointed it out yet or not, but our opponent's been holding priority when there's seemingly no reason to. Trying to, I don't know, drag the game out for some reason, like we'd tap down Basalt Monolith and then untap it, and they're just not passing priority to us or yielding whatever it is that they want to do. So yeah, we're obviously seeing why they're doing that. That's punishment for us generating infinite mana with the Basalt Monolith. So we'll just do what all people that behave this way online deserve to have done to them. And we'll not take them seriously and make fun of them. Yeah, I was just saying to my opponent that they've got every chance of winning this one. They're about to wipe our board, and we don't have any cards in hand. So, yeah, we need to get our Kinnan down again, and then it needs to sit there for a turn, and they may well have removal for it, or at least draw into it. So yeah, it's, I don't know what they're getting so upset about, to be honest. Again, we whiff, so yeah, maybe have to up the creature count in this, unless we're just being unlucky. Need to get our Commander out again, and hope that our opponent doesn't have an answer in hand. Just another land for us, so let's go for Kinnan first, and we'll pretend that we maybe have some counter magic in hand. And that comes down straight away, so they've obviously got nothing. Well, they might have removal in hand still. Alright, let's see if anything more comes of that delightful little conversation. Our opponent has suggested that we don't speak to each other anymore, which, yeah, we could have done that in the first place. Anyway, make it round to our turn with Kinnan intact. Our opponent has gotten down their commander with a lightning greave, so we may well get commander damage within the next few turns or so. But it looks as though they're doing the whole holding priority on Basalt Monolith trick again. I mean, even if they're playing another game, which is probably considered disrespectful to your opponent, even if they are playing another game, you can auto-yield through your opponent's turn, so there's no excuse for this. We whiff again on another activation of Kinnan, just 5 lands on top. Wow, that's really unlucky. And this time managed to choose between a Lord and an Elf. I mean, the Elf is just going to tap for more mana right off the bat, so we'll go for that one. Actually managing to land a creature this time. Then our opponent, interestingly enough, just passes through their turn. They don't even swing in with Oona. Yeah, if they're going to win this one, I think they'd want to do it with commander damage, so yeah, they might have wanted to actually swing in there. Ah, there we are, right off the top. That's unlucky for my opponent. You never know, they might have mass bounce. They actually need it here. They can't even use targeted removal against that, but it's not likely Dimir will have that for enchantments anyway. What we do here, for those of you who don't know, is generate infinite mana with the Basalt Monolith and dump it into the Helix Pinnacle. That's obviously much easier to do in a game of paper commander, because you can just show your opponents the infinite combo. You can't really do it on Magic Online, so if we did want to do the whole infinite combo thing properly, I would have to jump through all the hoops of tapping and untapping Basalt Monolith until we've got 100 mana floating, and then dump it into the Helix Pinnacle. And then it has to survive until our next upkeep. And here we go with the whole holding priority on Basalt Monolith thing again. I don't know if this player is... They strike me as the type, because of the issues we've had with them so far and all the bitching and whining. They strike me as the type that would allow us to put all the mana into the Helix Pinnacle and then Cyclonic Rift at the end of the turn and make us do it all over again at the end of the next turn. Yeah, and it's already a lot of hoops to jump through. Normally, if I think my opponent doesn't have an answer, I would just display the combo and then call it a day and declare ourselves the winner, but they could genuinely have mass bounce. It's just, they should really show it to us if they've got it and save us going through the whole rigmarole of putting the counters on the Helix. Okay, finally, giving us priority again. How's about we just dump a bunch of mana into the Helix and then we'll just pass the turn. We can do the whole infinite mana thing and dump the mana into the Helix at the end of our opponent's turn. And if they've got Rift or Mass Bounce or something, then I assume that they will use it straight away. Alright, so finally, making it to the end of the turn, our opponent is going for a lot of mana. I assume this is all being dumped into Oona. Okay, they've decided to untap some stuff. Oh, okay, and then they go for the Makokoro. I'm guessing that they're fishing for the Cyclonic Rift or whatever it is that they have to bounce the Helix Pinnacle. They need to bounce and counter it, really, because it can come down again easily enough. And then with the rest of the mana, they will mill us a bunch and see how many fairies they get. Drawing again with the Makokoro. We draw into Beastmaster Ascension, nowhere near as good now that the board's been wiped. So like I said, our opponent's got every chance of winning this one, especially when the draws aren't as great as we would like. And now priority is being held for a long time again. I'm guessing he's still playing the other game that he said he was in. And there we go, finally deciding to do something, getting into the red zone this time with Oona, and going to take a fairy into us as well. We can't block that without reach. So we will be on 15 points of commander damage now, which is only 2 more attacks and it takes us out. At the end of the turn, we'll start generating the infinite mana and see if they allow us to actually untap the monolith. No, doesn't look like it. You can keep an eye on their clock because obviously I'll have cut all this up. I'm not going to make you sit through an hour-long video or whatever this turns out to be. You can keep an eye on their clock in the top left and see how much time is passing between cuts. Going to dump a bunch of mana into the Helix, and I'm just trying to give you an idea of... I mean, like I say, we're still having to jump through hoops if we actually want to do this properly, but it's not as time-consuming as our opponent is being.
Not for me. My girlfriend thinks you're a giant cock.
Well, you can step in on this video if you want. I've got so much extra time on my hands in this game, apparently, because this guy keeps refusing to pass priority over, that you've come in to see how I'm doing, haven't you?
Yeah, I came in to see what was going on, and you've showed me the diatribe of bullshit that this guy sent you, starting off with a really horrible... Like, I mean, I don't even want that set. Such a
I've barely read it, to be
card.
honest.
You can have the win since you're clearly desperate. That's really a nice kind of guy, that, isn't it? Nice. Nice way to start a game.
Well, it's. I don't know. I just don't know why people. I mean, I do know why people behave like that. It's because they don't have any power or feel as though they have any power in their real lives. They feel weak and all the rest of it, and so they have a need to try and regain something like that, some semblance of control over the life over the internet. I don't know. I mean, I'm jumping through hoops here like crazy because Magic Online doesn't really allow for you to just automate all of this, and I would never ever do this if not for the fact that it's this guy that's...
What do you mean you'd never do it?
Well, I've got to tap the Basalt Monolith down, then untap it, and every time I do that, I gain 1 mana. I have to do that 100 times.
No.
And normally, I would just say, okay, I've got the win.
Wow.
I'm just not going to jump through all the hoops.
Oh, I see. So he's
he's not making me, but I'm purposefully doing it. One, because I'm petty and to spite him.
No, well,
but
you're
second
not.
of all, he strikes me as the type that's also petty and actually has an answer for what I'm doing here. But he's going to make me jump through all the hoops to do it, then show that he's got an answer for it all, and then make me do it all over again. And it's like, well, all right, if you're going to do that, then I'll do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's
well,
that
when
thing.
an opponent starts off with such an effing card. It's not the best.
Well, yeah, it
kind of says it all about somebody.
That's why I've been
kind of speaks volumes about that person you're playing against.
Winding him up a little bit here because
they deserve it because they're just being antagonistic.
And I'll never understand. People defend stuff like this. It's like, oh well, he was acting like that, but to be honest, I might have done as well. And you were winding him up. You weren't helping the situation, and blah blah blah. And it's like, we need to stop defending people like this.
Yeah,
you don't speak to people like that.
At the end of the day,
you do not talk to people
from
like
an
that.
outsider's point of view, it's a game, and I'm not trivialising Magic the Gathering because I think
it is
you have
just a
to
game,
be
and that's coming from me.
Well, yeah, but you have to be quite clever to play it. It's quite intricate, but at the end of the day, it's a game of cards. You pick cards from a deck. You don't know what card you're going to be. For someone to actually just have a go at you because of a card you're using, they need to go out and get a life. It's really, really not important in the scheme of things. It's really sad.
He's had a few answers to the things I've been doing here.
He just doesn't want to get beaten.
And, well, yeah. But he's had a few answers to the things I've been doing here, but I've had the answers to him as well. So it's been a back and forth, and I've had a bit of luck on my side in getting into this and in getting into some lands in the early game, and it's just... It could just as easily have gone his way. Mm. But at the end of the day, he had to actually play it out in order to see how it would... excuse me, to actually see how it would turn out. Any other day, and he could have won. You know,
can they all see what he said and everything?
Well, I've been showing them throughout the game. Yeah.
Because he said, I'm playing another game. So did he go and play another game? He didn't. He's not. He just.
I think he is currently playing another game, and he's
just sitting this out.
He's too stubborn to quit this one and admit defeat. Okay. He also is trying to have me quit so that he gets some kind of petty victory that isn't really a victory.
So he sleeps tonight.
He forced me to quit the game. It's all this really petty stuff.
Wow.
But I'm happy because I included this in the deck, and I've never shown this win before.
Oh, okay.
So any of the viewers that have not known about that little combination, now they know about it and know that you can get a win with it. But yeah,
wow, what
I
a
don't
guy!
know.
What a guy, Dawlish, swearing and everything. What a beaut you are.
Well, I've already banned him, so we won't be seeing him again. But yeah, it's just no matter what you think of the cards people play or the combinations of cards people play, there's plenty that people do that I don't think much of. But at the end of the day, you just have to get over it.
You don't abuse somebody online just because of that.
Well, you don't swear at them and hurl abuse at them. No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's no need to do that.
Anyway.
So yeah, I'm
glad you showed me that because.
Yeah. Oh, this happens. This happens on a semi. It happens on a semi-regular basis.
And I don't know. To be fair, I don't know how you stay so calm and reply as you do, because I would get really.
I tell you why, because I don't give a flying what he thinks. That's why. Well. And yeah, sometimes it's just more fun. Like we have fun with this on the channel, where the internet terminology salty, don't you? And sometimes I'll put up a video with Salty the Salt Shaker on it, and we have a bit of fun with it on the channel. But yeah, you could just as easily get wound up about it and have it ruin your day, and like that kind of hatred spreads itself around, it's like then you might go along and spread it to someone else, and it's just
there's no need.
It's better to try and break the chain, I think, but it's not necessarily an easy thing to do. Yeah, not very nice, but welcome to the internet.
Yeah.
Twitter's even worse.
Wow. Yeah.
That's why we don't do social media, isn't it?
Yep. It's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Full of people's views about stuff and just basically trying to tell you what they think and they know better than you.
Well, exactly. I don't mind. I don't mind people obviously voice your opinion, and everyone's got their own opinion and blah, blah, blah. That's great. Oh, there we go. He's timed out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't mind everyone viewing their opinion and all that. I don't care which party you vote for. I don't care blah, blah, blah. I'm not bothered about any of that. But don't shout at people and don't scream at people for having the wrong opinion. And
well, just a different opinion to you.
Well, yeah, I mean the wrong opinion in their eyes. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't scream at people for. You talk to them.
Oh yeah.
No one. Has anyone ever come up to you, started screaming and nagging you for any reason whatsoever, and then you've gone back and gone, yeah, I see the point. Yeah. I'll change my ways.
I mean, years ago...
You talk to people.
Yeah, you do. Years ago,
spread good information.
I think it's a lost thing now, because years ago they used to do that. They used to have discussions, didn't they, in universities and things, and people sat
well,
and
they do still do that.
Yeah, but because they're corrupt now, universities, there's no hope. When it wasn't as corrupt, people could you could say the truth, you could have a decent.
That's actually what universities are for, and they're losing that in the droves. No, I was referring to they do still get, like in Oxford and stuff, they still get celebrities in to talk to students about stuff. No, I jumped to the wrong conclusion. You're talking about the students and the faculty sitting in a circle and talking like philosophically about things,
and
which is imperative. You have to do that.
It's really for the human race. It's if we're going to get any better, you need to teach kids to do that, to be able to talk about things in a rational way in a room with other people that maybe don't, and just sit and try and come thrash things out and talk about it.
Well, yeah, but try and
rather than
screeching at each other.
Yeah. Well. Do you want to message him now and say you won?
No, I'm not doing that shit. That's the type of thing he'd do. That's actually why I ban people, so that you don't get these petty little messages coming up about ha ha, I beat you, or you're a piece of shit because you beat me. It's like,
It's very sad.
let's cut out the cancer, shall we?
Yeah.
And not deal with them.
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
that was an interesting one, shall we say? And hopefully you all got some enjoyment from it and a little cameo from, what's your name? Civilized Kai, isn't it?
Or Cretin, whatever.
Or Cretin. Well,
I
tried Cretin, but Civilized Kai seemed to stick, so there we go.
I did just come in here to see if you wanted your tea, so...
Yeah, well, it's the evening now. What is it? We haven't eaten yet, and it's 7 o'clock. Anyway, I need to wrap this up because I want to eat.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I'm tribalkai, and you are Civilized Kai on the EDH channel.
Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry.
Thank you for watching.
What a fucking tosspot. Proper annoying me that.